Good evening, sir. Jake.
Good to see you.
Good evening.
And Brian, right?
Yes.
Sorry about the Memphis thing.
It's all good. Just don't let it happen again.
Oh, geez. Yeah, so I've been hearing, of course, a lot about you, and well, I haven't actually spoken to you. I'm going to start with you.
Okay.
There you go.
All right.
All right. What a fantastic! I'm just telling Neil, the trio of Jake and Taylor and Neil,
Yeah.
and then you guys, you brothers. Wow, you don't get that very often. It's a pretty interesting mix. Amazing talent, the chops, and fun-loving guys. That's.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, you don't do this for money, really, do you?
There's not a whole lot of money in it.
Clearly.
Tell me about it.
We're obviously in it for the money.
And you guys have done it for 20 years. I
Yeah.
mean, hats off, guys. That's incredible.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's been that long. Sometimes it does seem like it's been longer than that.
It really doesn't seem like it's been that long for me.
There's been breaks, I hear, where it's kind of, it falters a bit, as usual.
Yeah.
Is this, are we worth carrying on, or should we keep going, or that kind of stuff, or it's not making us enough money, we can't live off this, and the wife wants this, and the wife, got the baby and all that.
Yeah, that's definitely happened throughout the years where
Yeah.
people have their kids, or somebody has like an accident, or we just kind of get sick of it for a little bit and take some time off, and usually that's when we write albums or something like that. But
Yeah, I was just hearing that you write as well. So
I try to.
Yeah.
They humor me sometimes.
Well, I mean, you're aware of the
and-
song. It's not just the groove or the rhythm.
Yeah.
It's
I'll write some guitar parts and stuff here and there, and bass.
Oh, guitar.
Whether they listen or not is another thing, but
I always listen.
I see.
they humor me every once in a while. And
So you fiddle around on the six string then? Huh?
yeah, I actually started out playing guitar.
I don't play guitar. Nothing.
Yeah, that's
Play
what I
the
started
radio.
with. Yeah,
No, I used to play drums with my brother years ago. And
yeah.
That's a whole other story. But this stuff that you made it to the big stage, that's pretty cool. I mean, I've got no experience whatsoever about that, and it's a bit of a leap, isn't it?
Yes.
You can tell me.
I mean, it's definitely gotten to a point that we've always wanted it to get to, but we didn't know if it would get there. And it's definitely a really great feeling being up there and playing in front of people, whether it's like 5 people or like 10,000. I mean, there's a little bit of different feeling if it's 10,000 people, but it's still we're playing music in front of people and getting back from what we're putting out to people, which is really cool. Which is the main reason we started doing it, is just because we love playing music, and then once we started playing in front of people, we experienced that rush and that feeling. It was like, this is amazing.
So that's icing on the cake. But underneath that, right, those big shows must be extremely grueling. I would have thought, as far as moving your gear around, getting everything set up, blah blah blah.
They can
working
be,
with a
yeah.
lot more people, a lot more technical shit to have to worry about. So there's a big strain that the crowd doesn't know about.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just.
They don't know about that.
They see the one layer.
Yeah,
Just
if you want to complain to people, this is a good chance, right?
Yeah.
Hey, you buggers! Give me
mean-
another. I'm trying to get this damn thing in two, and it won't go in two.
But even a terrible day like that, though, is still nothing compared to like a good day working a job digging ditches or something. Still, even though we'll have our bad days, but still, it's an awesome day for us no matter what.
Do you write with your brother?
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
and how does that happen?
It's mostly just us with each other's hands around each other's throats, rolling around. No, this is how it's supposed to go. No, this is how it's supposed to go.
Okay.
That's about it.
I'm
And
the
then-
older brother. No, I'm the bigger brother.
And then eventually we agree on something and we have a song. No, usually it just happens. Like he writes most of the music and I write a lot of lyrics.
So on
for
your
our
own
songs.
time,
Yeah.
you do quite a lot of the work of the songwriting.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
then start to put it.
Yeah, I'll bring stuff
yeah.
where he'll be like, hey, I have this idea, like this melody idea, and then I'll be like, that's cool, like, and then I'll, spitball some of my like lyric ideas, and then we'll kind of roll off of that. Or I've taken just like, I have a song title, I want to write an entire song around just this title alone, and taken that to him, and then he's helped me like develop it, and we've done that a number of times.
Cool.
So lots of different processes,
I've seen you on a stand-up bass too.
Yeah, I've done some stand-up. I haven't played in a while.
We need to get that going again for
Yeah.
our acoustic shows.
Before I joined this band, I played in like 4 bands simultaneously, and it was all upright. Like I played in a bluegrass band, a gypsy jazz band, a folk band. I had to occasionally get just random calls for like restaurant jazz gigs where we're just in the corner playing background noise for 3 hours, and you get paid $25 and hopefully a meal. And so It's a little different now.
The guy that got me started back up again playing over here prior to when I moved up to Salt Lake was down in Texas, and he was the bass player
Nice.
from the band I was working with in Greece, and he went to Canada and everywhere else, and then he came back and he found me. So we decided to set up a band down there. He did anyway. He was the man, and he can make connections very fast, and can negotiate well, when he's trying to get a decent.
That's always a good thing.
Because most of the times, even back in England, quite often we gravitate towards a little residency somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where you might get a month's work, 6 nights a week, that
Yeah.
kind of stuff,
Yeah.
and then take a break and do other stuff.
Yeah, I used to do a lot of gigs like that before coming out here. When I lived in Northern California, a lot of stuff like that.
That's kind of how we would start out doing that too. We started up in Park City, and that's the only place they would let us play because we were all underage.
Oh,
And
okay.
we'd have to go and play for like 4 hours. And
So you were in front of a stage or in front of a crowd at what age?
I think we were 18, 19, I think, when we
Okay.
first started. And sometimes they'd sneak us booze backstage or whatever. Or there was this place down in Salt Lake called the Holy Cow that we played, and we couldn't go within like a certain amount of feet from the bar.
Oh.
And so they made us a green room in one of the
Okay.
men's bathrooms. So we had to stay back
So
there.
what's
It
the
was actually
drinking
the
age?
brown room.
21, is it?
21
Okay.
is for here, yeah.
Always has been, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
as far as I know, I think, yeah.
What is it in England?
I forget, but I always remember somebody saying, you can be conscripted into the army, right, at 18, but you couldn't drink till you were 21,
Right.
which seemed backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can do everything else.
You can get shot at, but you can have
Yeah,
drink.
get shot at or you
Yeah.
can take someone's life, but you can't have a beer.
And you can buy spray paint.
So it's something like that. It's probably
Yeah.
similar, Yeah, that's cool. So, did you ever have a little teeny van? Like the first gig thing that you
How
went
teeny?
out on? Yeah. Or did you all have separate vehicles or something?
It was usually, when we started, it was usually separate vehicles, or we'd have a friend that had like an old truck. I
Yeah.
remember our friend, his name was Coleman, I met him through Neil. He was Neil's buddy, and I didn't have any way of hauling my drums around, and so he'd come into my house and pick up my gear, and we'd go to the gig and take me home.
Yeah.
What a sweet guy.
But yeah, that was, and then we
But
started.
you were 18 thereabouts. right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What about you?
I've driven in all sorts of vehicles. Lots of small Subaru once, little Subaru like Outback. I got sick in that. Had to have the driver pull over. We were driving back from a gig. We played this wedding way in the middle of the forest up in Humboldt County, Northern California, and it was a very strange, alternative lifestyle wedding. And I felt pretty out of place, but it was a lot of fun. But driving back, I got really sick. I was just throwing up outside the car, and even if I threw up inside the car, though, it wouldn't have mattered because the car was so filthy. It was our guitar player Rich's car. It was just a filthy vehicle. But yeah, I've done a few in my truck actually. Filled that thing up with a lot of gear, driven some mountain roads.
That would have helped back in the day, having a truck.
Yeah.
I think our first band vehicle was a van that a club owner kind of purchased for us, and then we would play gigs to make payments on it for him.
Oh, yeah.
And that was our very first 15-passenger white van. And
Oh, okay.
That's since
Like a Ford Transit sort of
Yeah.
bus.
The plague rig.
yeah. So, and that broke down, and we got a new white van. We have a white van still, and then we have an RV and
Then you
tour
went
bus
into a
now.
trailer, I suppose.
Yeah.
A little bit of everything.
Upgrade. Sometimes we would downgrade when things got too expensive, and
Yeah.
upgrade again.
When I took over as bass player in this band, the very first weekend I played, we still had a tour bus, and we did 3 shows, and on the bus, hit the bass, yeah. And then the next week we were in a van. We were in a van for a year after that.
Yeah.
And I was just yeah.
Didn't pay the gas bill, huh?
No, so we got to experience all levels of transportation in a short amount of time.
Transportation.
So, on your tax forms, right, this year, you're pretty much writing it all
Wait,
off.
what's a tax form?
Yeah.
Yeah, we pay taxes.
Yeah. There you go.
That'll be interesting to see what. Yeah, I don't know how that's going to work this year.
I'll probably still end up owing money somehow. We'll find a way.
I ended up, because I skedaddled over to Greece, right, and joined this band over there. So when I came back, right? And then I was looking to try and get over here. I met Cindy over in Greece. And got married in England, and that's how I got here. You know, I'm one of the alien guys. But shit, I lost my track of thought there. Anyway, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you guys.
Yeah, thank you for talking with us.
Yeah, you guys got stories a mile long, and I could be sitting here forever. But I still wouldn't get fed up. I know.